People always ask me, what are the things I need when I'm ready to buy a house? And my answer to them is always, number one, a good lender. Number two, a good real estate agent. But number three, you need a great insurance agent. And today we have Kristy Mochel with 180 Insurance with us to talk about insurance. Hi, Kristy.
Hi, Ronda.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Are you guys busy this time of year?
We are. Yeah,
why?
I love spring.
Do you like? Why do you like spring? What does that mean to the insurance industry?
Well, just like real estate, I think people start getting more excited about moving, and school's almost at an end, so now's a good time to start looking for new properties. And since we work a lot with real estate agents and mortgage brokers, that means that we get to help people find insurance for their new homes too.
Mm-hmm. You know, I think that is the one thing that most people do not think about. And so when they ask me that, they're like, an insurance? Yeah, because the lenders want to know that you have good insurance coverage. They want to know how much it's going to cost, because that factors into, the purchase of the home. Kristy, let's kind of go back though a little bit. Are you from Kansas City?
I am.
You are?
I am.
Okay, so you're like familiar with the weather patterns around here.
The crazy weather patterns, yes.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about how you grew up, where you grew up in the Kansas City area, your family.
Right. So I grew up on the Missouri side. I've been on the Kansas side probably 30 years. Met my husband in Kansas, so we kind of had our family here, and our kids went to school all in Blue Valley, and so we raised our kids here. We have our businesses here. We work both in Kansas and Missouri. We're actually getting ready to branch out a little bit. We're gonna also go to Iowa and Colorado.
Oh wow!
So that's gonna happen this year. So we're pretty excited.
All right, great. So you talked about your husband, Kevin.
Yep.
And you guys have a pretty unique business thing going on, because like you're 180 insurance, and he's 180.
You're marketing.
How'd you guys come up with the 180?
So that was actually Kevin. When you think about full circle, right, it's 360 degrees. But if you want to be completely the opposite of everybody else, then you're 180.
Okay. I like it.
It was a good idea.
Kevin, he's pretty smart, isn't he?
He's kind of smart, yeah.
On a good day.
I like him, yeah.
Yeah, on a good day, he's pretty smart. Yeah. So what's it like to work with your husband? Because people ask me that all the time. I mean, I love it, but I mean, what about you?
Yeah,
and Kevin?
I think people are more interested in that relationship than any other. So we met in a work environment. We were both managers over different departments, so we kind of knew going in what our work styles were. We owned an insurance agency together for 11 years, sold it, went out in the world for 7 years and kind of figured out what we wanted to do when we grew up. And I came back and said, this insurance thing is really what I want to do. So I started 180 Insurance before it was Mochel Insurance Group. So I started 180 Insurance. About a year later, Kevin said, it would be fun to work together again. Why don't I come on and do marketing? And it's just kind of developed from there. Now we're more separate entities. 180 Your Marketing was created to help real estate agents in Kansas City and really all over develop their marketing skills and their social media skills. So we went from working together on a daily basis again to really we work together, but we're separate. You'd be surprised, we don't really see each other a lot during the day. But we definitely, I think my favorite part about it is being able to throw ideas to basically my best friend and get ideas and being able to collaborate that way. It's a lot of fun.
That. I like the best friend part, because that's what I tell Bill. He's my best friend.
Right.
I just couldn't see myself doing life without him. I just could not. Let's talk a little bit about insurance, because it's not one of those things that people talk about all the time. I mean, I tell people this all the time. I used to dabble in insurance. I used to be an underwriter, so I know enough to be dangerous,
right?
Which is why I have to call Kristy all the time. But, talk to us about the different types of insurance agents that are out there, like captive, and then you're independent. What does that mean to us?
Right. I actually had a conversation with a girl yesterday. This was her first time buying a house. And she said, do you charge fees for all these extra things that you do? And I said, absolutely not. I never have. I never will. I know that there are some independent insurance agents or brokers that do charge fees. We don't. And the reason that she asked that is because when you have a captive company, and those captive companies only work for one company, right? Whereas myself, as an independent agent or broker, I have 14 different companies that I work with. Oh, wow. So they're all A-rated. Companies like Travelers, Safeco, Liberty Mutual, the list goes on and on, right? Because insurance isn't cookie cutter. So what works for you and what works for your next door neighbor is not going to be the same thing, even though you're right next to each other, right? You're going to have different wants and needs. So I like being an independent agent because if Travelers isn't a good fit for you and Bill, then maybe Safeco has a better program for you. And today I'm working with somebody that has a home and auto and 2 rental properties, and they just bought a vacant home. And so I'm able to find the different companies that are going to be the best fit for them. Mm-hmm.
So instead of going to one, we'll call it XYZ company, and them making everything fit, you might be able to split that up between the different insurance companies and do what's best. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
All right, good. And then, there's this whole thing about, when you buy a house, you should probably bring your cars over too. I mean, is that a real thing? Do you really get a big discount when you put home and auto together?
Huge.
Really?
And really it depends on the company, but I mean, we're talking 10 to 25%.
Wow.
So normally it's best to bundle if you can. Mm-hmm. There are certain circumstances where it might be better to have like an auto with Progressive and a home with Safeco. And again, that's why it's good to be able to have an agent that's going to look at everything. Mm-hmm.
They still offer good student discounts for
Absolutely.
young. Oh, do they really?
That's a big thing. Good student discounts and driver's ed.
Okay.
Still discounts for that too.
All right, awesome. Yeah, Kristy, what are the 3 things that people, I know they kind of say, okay, I need to insure my house. But what are the 3 additional coverages that you might tell people, you might want to consider this?
Right. So because we live in the Midwest, obviously you want to have a policy that has full replacement cost. Okay. So replacement cost on the structure, replacement cost on the roof, and replacement cost on personal property. So if you have a claim, you want to make sure that depreciation doesn't come into play. Couple extra things though that I really recommend. I think our second most popular claim, if that makes sense, is that someone's sump pump stops working and they got water ick in their basement. So I always start quotes with a water backup sewer drain sump pump coverage. They can sign off on it and say they don't want it, but I always highly, highly recommend that. And if you have a finished basement, it's even more important to have that. Mm-hmm. And then probably my third one would be we have coverages now that we didn't have before, like coverage that will cover the lines that run from the house to the street. Oh. So water, sewer, gas, cable, those kinds of things. People don't necessarily think about the fact that that's not city property. So those lines that run from the house to the street are not covered under a typical insurance policy. That's something that you can now add on, though.
Wow. So is that different? Like, let's say for the sewer, I know there are companies out there that offer those warranties. Is that different from that? Is that the same thing? Do you know the answer to that?
So warranties as far as
Well, like you
sewer
know, if I
lines,
need
or-
to have, no, like let's say the sewer lines. I mean, because that's a big thing. Like as we get up to like 95th Street, north of 95th, where
Right.
you got like big trees, and
Yep.
you know, people do the sewer line scopes, and sometimes those lines are broken, and they
Right.
get tree roots in them. Is that when insurance kicks in, or would you suggest that somebody have the warranty?
So I'm not super familiar with the warranties.
Okay.
I think if I lived in the Prairie Village area, the beautiful places with the
Yeah,
big trees,
yeah.
I would probably try to get some kind of warranty on them. But yes, this is exactly what we're talking about.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So it probably wouldn't hurt to have both, but definitely have the sewer insurance, have the line coverage. Is that what you call
and
it?
it's not, yeah, it's coverage for the lines, like I said, that run from the house to the street.
Okay. Okay. All right. Great. What's the most important thing that you would tell somebody who was looking at insurance? I mean, you know, because sometimes people don't know what they don't know, you
Right.
know, and they think all insurance is the same.
Right.
What makes you different? I guess maybe that's my question. What makes you different?
So I like to think that I have the heart of a teacher. So I'm not going to just send you a quote and say, do you like the price? And you say yes, and then we go from there. I really like to have a chance to review all of the insurance coverages with a person so that they understand what loss of use is, so that they understand what their deductibles are. When we do comparisons between our policies or our quotes and maybe something that they've gotten from someone else, let's compare those deductibles. Let's look at, we've got a $2,000 wind and hail deductible, whereas this company has a 2% wind and hail deductible. What's the difference? What does that mean? And, if you have a flat $2,000 deductible versus a 2% deductible on a $300,000 house, that's 2% of the dwelling amount. So that's a $6,000 deductible.
Oh, wow.
So that could make
That makes a big difference.
that could make a big difference. And people don't know
They
that.
don't, no, they don't think about it.
Right,
Yeah,
of course. And they're not supposed to know.
Wow.
So it would just like having someone teach me something about medical. I don't know, nurses and doctors are so much smarter on that than I am, and they will tell me things that there's no way for me to know, or that, so it's I'm not comparing myself to medical at all, but I'm just saying,
Kristy Mochel.
yeah, it's
MD.
Dr. Mochel.
Dr.
Yeah.
Mochel.
But
Dr. Mochel, Doctor of Insurance.
Yeah, so, there you go. But it would be the same as, I don't understand a real estate contract.
Yeah.
That's not my job.
Yeah. And we try not to step on each other's toes. I mean, if people ask me, even though I know a little bit about insurance, when people ask me questions, what I do know is when I should tell them to call Kristy, because things change. I mean, I haven't done insurance underwriting since 1980s,
Right.
and things have changed over time. So I know enough to tell you when you need to talk to a professional, and that would be a professional insurance agent. Kristy, you know what? Let's go to the rapid fire portion. Let's have some fun.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay. What's your favorite barbecue place in Kansas City?
Jack Stack, all the way.
I know. I'm a Jack Stack girl, too. Yes, ma'am.
I love it.
What do you like about Jack Stack? Why Jack Stack over somebody else?
So, honestly, the cheesy corn, but it's part of it. My go-to is the poor rust sandwich. I love it. The chopped burn-in sandwich. It's my favorite.
Yeah. I'm a fan of the sides. I think when you have good barbecue, you got to have good baked beans.
You do.
And they have the best baked beans.
They really do.
Yeah, I agree. What's your favorite movie?
You asked me this before when we had a conversation, and I didn't have one.
Oh, that's right. You did. And I'm still trying to make you have a favorite movie.
I watch movies to be entertained, so I'm pretty easy when it comes to being entertained with movies. I will tell you, my boys went to see Cocaine Bear the other day.
Yeah, was it funny?
I didn't go.
No.
That's not my jam, but
yeah.
I
did. It looks a little
out there
ridiculous to me. Is what I'll just say. I haven't been to see it either.
No.
So, what about your favorite place to shop?
So really, I like town center just because there are so many different stores, and you can kind of find whatever you want.
Yeah.
I love the outdoor mall. I love, the fact that you can get fresh air, and they have bigger stores, they have smaller stores, they have boutiques. So
Yeah, we have a lot of boutiques in Kansas City, and I
Right.
love that about it because I don't necessarily need to go into a big department store every time I
me
want to
either.
shop. I like unique things, different things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love the little boutique shopping that we have
yeah,
around
especially if it's locally owned.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
here. You and Kevin kind of have this passion for coffees.
We do.
Well, one of you do.
We do.
The
No,
other
we
one
both do. We both do.
And one of you has a passion for donuts. So I'm going to ask you, what's the favorite? Is that you?
No, it's not.
Not you.
I
with the
was
donut?
just not me.
I wonder which one of you it is then.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
So it was funny because that kind of started because Kevin initially, when we would go and visit real estate brokerages or mortgage offices, we like to bring something of value, right? And I don't think donuts are value or bagels or
I
whatever
do.
the case they
I do. I don't want a bagel, but bring me a donut any day.
So that's one of the things, though. That's what, I mean, Kevin even, I think, has a T-shirt that says, I don't bring donuts or something like that. But yeah, a good donut.
I love donuts.
Messenger
Yeah.
coffee.
Okay.
I think they're bringing one out south, too.
Oh, good.
But I love all of their Danishes, and it doesn't have to be a donut. It can be just
Yeah.
any flaky, yummy
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But we do really like coffee shops.
Yeah. Cool.
To find a new one is
You guys
a
had
lot
an
of fun.
event last week, which if you're a real estate agent or a loan officer, you've got to plug in. Like Kristy said, you can go to their events. But at the event, we had these cute little sandwiches. We had sushi. I think we had meatballs and this huge array of donuts,
Yep.
which I thought was so cute. And that was the one thing I ate was
Yep,
the donut.
a donut.
So,
Yeah, donuts are fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Kristy, thank you so much
Absolutely.
for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, if folks are interested in connecting with you, maybe they just want to get a quote.
Yeah.
Like I already own a home and I feel like my insurance is too high. I want to talk to Kristy. How do they
Right.
reach you?
So they can call the office or my cell phone. Office is 913-800-6311. Email is always great. It's Kristy, Kristy, at insure180.com, or my cell, 913-481-1416.
And quotes are free.
Quotes are free.
Quotes are free. All right. Kristy, thank you.
Absolutely.
And thank you guys for joining us. Until the next time, have a fantastic Kansas City day.
Bye.